Good evening, everyone. It's my honor and privilege to welcome you to tonight's celebration of one of the most special evenings on our calendar, the Cal Ripken Sr. Collegiate Baseball League Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Tonight we come together to honor excellence, dedication, and impact on and off the field. We celebrate individuals whose contributions have shaped the legacy of our league and elevated the game we all love. This year's Hall of Fame inductees: Dinan from the Alexandria Aces, Alex Thompson, Board Director, Jordan Westburg, Gaithersburg Giants, and Hunter Brown, Bethesda Big Train. Each of these individuals has left an indelible mark on the Ripken League and the game of baseball in their respective communities. Hunter Brown, with his electrifying arm and fierce competitiveness, gave us memorable moments that will be talked about for years in the Ripken League, and he continues to represent this league proudly at the next level. Dinan, a man whose dedication behind the scenes has shaped the very foundation of the Alexandria Aces. His leadership, vision, led to the Aces becoming one of the top programs in the Cal Ripken League. Jordan Westburg turned heads with his standout talent and passion for the game, earning accolades at every level and continuing to climb to the highest levels of baseball with that same fire. Alex Thompson, who is not just a leader with the league, he was the heartbeat of this organization for many years. His consistency, vision, and work ethic and unwavering support have helped make the Ripken League a premier destination for collegiate summer ball baseball. This evening, we do not just reflect on their past achievements, we celebrate the character, commitment, and community these four exemplify. Their stories inspire the next generation of players, coaches, and community members and fans. It's been my great pleasure to introduce and to kick off this ceremony as a commissioner of the Cal Ripken League. It also gives me great pleasure to introduce our league president, Brad Rifkin, to introduce each of our Hall of Fame inductees and their speakers.
Thank you, Jason. It's a privilege and an honor to be here tonight. I'm really thankful for all of you and everything that you do to help make this league so wonderful. Whether it's the players who wow us on a nightly basis with their skill set, from Povich to Gaithersburg to Blair, we're all on the bump in Seattle right now for the Houston Astros, to the league and franchise officers who dedicate their time, their money, for the passion and love of the game. I believe that our Hall of Fame committee did an incredible job striking a great balance of this 2025 Hall of Fame inductee class. So without further ado, let's get to it. And I know Sal has somewhere to be in a few minutes, so we're going to start with Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown pitched for the Bethesda Big Train in 2018, helping guide them to a League Co-Championship. That summer, he had a 2.11 ERA and 21 innings of work. Drafted in the 5th round of the 2019 draft by the Astros, Hunter worked his way through the system and is now one of the brightest young stars in baseball. He was just named to his first All-Star team and is among Major League Baseball's leaders in ERA, strikeouts, and wins. Hunter Brown, 2025 inductee into our Hall of Fame. Sal Colangelo, if you'd like to come up and say a few words.
Yeah. Thanks, Brad. First of all, thank you for everyone here because you matter, and the support you've given Alex and Don and Jared and Hunter to be here is pretty amazing. So thank you on behalf of myself, our team, and the Bethesda Big Train. Hunter Brown, what a story. Wayne State, out of the blue, calls me and says, "Hey, coach, I want to come pitch for you. If I can't play for you, you can cut me loose." No, Hunter, if we bring you here, we're going to work with you. We're going to get you better. Coach Sizemore is going to do what he needs to do. So Hunter Brown went from 87, 89 to 94, 95 when he left here this summer, and he's the one that did it. Emulating Justin Verlander in the bullpen that people will see. Tireless hours working on his mechanics in the bullpen. And the one thing, when you coach, you want to grow, not just as a person, but as a coach. And you can take a lot of things from the players that I'll never forget. And we used this word last year to get us going in July when we won 17 straight games. Hunter used to always say, "Coach, believe." And that's very powerful. When you believe, you can achieve and you can do anything. So if you own it, you live it, you love it, it can get done. And Hunter did it, just a blue collar guy from Michigan, did it through hard work, dedication, perseverance, and you know, what a better day to celebrate. And he'll be coming in town in November to celebrate even more. So thank you for everyone coming, for all the inductees, and best of luck.
And I will, I know obviously you can't be here tonight, but we're going to leave his own very words, which he said, I believe it was Friday Night Baseball earlier this year against Texas. He was mic'd up. So here's Hunter Brown.
How did it develop? Yeah, my sophomore year, summer of college, I went to Bethesda and played for the Big Train there, summer team in the Cal Ripken League. You know, just did some little mechanical adjustments, but you know, really I just got stronger, got older, and you know, just saw some things start working for me, and then was able to, you know, kind of clean up my mechanics, like I said, and then, you know, was able to see some results there.
That's Hunter Brown. Obviously, we had an impact. So very, very thankful for him. Next up is Dinan. Don co-founded the Alexandria Aces in 2008. He emphasized that Alexandria would be where legends begin, a place where young athletes could grow, develop, and take the next step in their careers. Don's leadership and dedication to this mission helped establish the Aces as a force in our league, winning the league championship in 2022. Sadly, Don passed away last year, but his legacy lives on in Alexandria, and we are honored to induct him into our Hall of Fame. I'll have Frank come up, and then obviously Pat Malone as well.
Well, thank all of you for being here tonight to honor Don. My name's Frank Fannin. I'm president of the Alexandria Aces, and I'd like to welcome some special guests in the front row. We all miss Don since he passed away last year, but Don's widow Amy is here, his daughter Emma, their son-in-law Matthias, and Don's first granddaughter was born 6 months ago, and she's right over here in the stroller. So God bless her, and God bless you, Amy, and the family. So thank you so much for being here tonight. Don has made a huge impact in Alexandria since he was one of the co-founders of the Aces in 2008. Don was a wonderful man who had a great sense of humor and a great knowledge of baseball. Any question you ever had, he seemed to know the answer going back to 1945 or whatever year it was. And he was a walking encyclopedia, and I just remember the times with him, all the wonderful conversations that we had. Don also went on the 2016 trip to Cuba, which was fabulous. We took a bunch of the players down there, and it was a great time for the league, and Don had a wonderful time. And we just want to thank Don, the family, all that you've done to make the Aces what they are today. And also, I'd like to have Pat Malone come up here. Pat Malone was one of the founding members with Don in 2008, and Pat will share a word or two.
Thank you, Frank. First of all, I wanted to give everybody a little glint of thought. The Alexandria Aces were formed in Bethesda. I was working for Sports Fan magazine, and I was, all of a sudden the idea came out, let's start the Alexandria Aces here in Bethesda. And I got on a Metro. By the time I got to Metro, I had 12 pages of notes. At the top of my notes, it said Alexandria Aces. And right afterwards, I met up with Don. And a lot of people don't realize Don was a minor league baseball owner. I had a buddy of mine who had 6 minor league ball clubs. And Don was going to buy the Henley Hawks. You guys remember the Henley Hawks when Don was going to do that? And I said, get something here in America. And so we got the Fort Myer Miracle, and Don was a minor league owner. And then I said, Don, let's bring collegiate baseball to Alexandria. And Don went full force into the idea. And Don was so much a part of the effort to bring baseball to Alexandria. And let me say on this note, one day we're going to a league meeting, and we pulled over to get some gas. And I'm pumping and I'm getting some gas, and Don goes in, and I'm wondering where Don is. And I don't see him, and I go into the store, and Don's having a conversation with a guy that looked like a heated argument. And I'm thinking, man, what happened? Did we cut somebody off or something? It was from a baseball game. Don he played baseball at high school in Baltimore from Mount St. Joseph High School. They were talking about a baseball game in 1967 that they both knew each other. And so Don's love of the game was there. And I wanted to say, first of all, we will always remember Don, and I know Frank will say that he will agree, he's missed at the ballpark. So Amy, Emma, Matthias, and Heidi, we're so glad you're here. And a moment of silence for Don. God bless Don Dinan.
Jordan Westburg. Jordan Westburg played for the Gaithersburg Giants in 2017, where he hit nearly 300 that summer. He starred for Mississippi State in the 2018 and 2019 College World Series before being drafted in the first round of the 2020 draft by the Baltimore Orioles. Since his Major League debut in 2023, he's established himself as one of the best young infielders in baseball, earning American League All-Star honors last year, and he went 2 for 4 today, so very fitting. But we're proud to induct Jordan Westburg into the 2025 Hall of Fame. Brad, if you want to come see.
Thank you, Brad, and congratulations to everybody being inducted tonight. I first want to congratulate Jordan as the first Gaithersburg Giant to be inducted into the Cal Ripken Hall of Fame. I was the coach for the Giants back then, and I'll always remember seeing him walk up to the field to Kelly Park for his first time for a first practice with his parents. He's from New Braunfels, Texas, and was headed to Mississippi State in the fall for his freshman year. That year we were really, really talented. We had 3 future top 5 round draft picks. As freshmen come up here and they're in this league, they go through some of those rough patches. For a lot of them, it's the first time them going up to the plate and failing 7 out of 10 times, and they got to learn that that's okay. But you could see how good he was and how good he could be. And by the end of the summer, he was a stud for us for sure. I had no doubt he'd be a successful college player and have a chance to be a very high draft pick. He had an outstanding career at Mississippi State, played in the College World Series, has the record for most RBIs in a College World Series game was 7. He was eventually drafted in the first round of the 2020 draft by the Baltimore Orioles. He was called up in 2023 and was an MLB All-Star last year. Through all the success, Jordan's never changed. He's a great baseball player, but he's even a better person. There's not a time where I text or call where he doesn't respond right away or get back to me as soon as he can. I was able to be there at his MLB debut up at Camden Yards, and as a coach, it's definitely one of the top highlights ever in my career was to go see one of my players play on that field. So this is very well deserved, and congratulations to Jordan.
Alex Thompson. All right. Alex has been an indispensable part of the Cal Ripken Sr. Collegiate Baseball League since its inception in 2005. He served as the league's first ever executive director in its inaugural season, and later served as league commissioner in 2013. Previously served as general manager of the Bethesda Big Train, and 2 decades later, he's still invaluable as an advisor to the league and sits on the Big Train's board. On a personal note, Alex took over in 2013 in a very difficult time for the league. And he took over with steadfast hand and guided the league through a very tumultuous moment. We're very grateful and we're very thankful for that. But Jason and I, and I'm speaking for Jason too, we are grateful and thankful for how you transitioned us into our roles to help take this league where it is today. You always answered the call, and you've always done it for the love of the game and a passion for baseball. We're very thankful for you, and I can't think of anyone else who would be more deserving of this honor than you, Alex. So I'm going to turn it over to Bruce for a few words as well.
Thank you, Brad. So I got a letter. Some of you remember letters. You typed it and you signed it, you put it in an envelope and you put a stamp on it. It actually happened, and then you hope that maybe one day you'll get a response. So I got a letter. It was probably December 2000 or maybe January 2001. And it was, my name is Alex Thompson. I am a freshman at Brandeis. I live in Rockville. I love baseball. I really like what you're doing with the big train, and I want to come volunteer for you. As I said at Alex's wedding, I'm really glad I responded to that letter. So Alex came, and for the 4 summers after each year of college, he worked his way up the pipeline of talent that we try to create here at Big Train. He totally got it. He totally understood what we were trying to do. Baseball is our platform, but we're trying to build a stronger community. That's our purpose. And Alex got both pieces of that. He is the personification of a pipeline of talent. I mean, he comes in as a freshman, as a volunteer. Pretty soon he's the assistant general manager, then he's the general manager. Brad and Jason talk about how valuable he's been in the transition to their leadership and in the last 10 or so years of the league. The indispensable and invaluable is exactly what he was at the beginning of this league. So as general manager of the Big Train, I tried to talk him out of going to law school. I failed on that, but I did get him to take a year and work for us full time. And in that year, he not only was our general manager, but he created the Ripken League. So Dean Albany, the outstanding scout of the Orioles, and I get credit as being the founders of the league. But really, without Alex, this league would not happen. So if you love this league, you really appreciate Alex. Dean couldn't be with us today. He's signing guys from the draft that they just had this week. But Dean sent me this. Alex is an extremely organized person. Anybody disagree with that? No. Who always put the league and the players' needs as his #1 priority. Congratulations, Alex, on your well-deserved induction into the Cal Ripken Sr. League Hall of Fame. The league would never have sustained its excellence without your all so important contributions. That's the point I want to make. Without Alex Thompson serving as our staff leader in the early years and then coming in the difficult situation that Brad mentioned, there would not be this league. And without Alex, there wouldn't be the strong Big Train team in this league. He created the high school youth leadership program. He made us a more organized organization. And so Big Train is really appreciative of Alex's extraordinary service and so happy to honor Alex and have him on our Hall of Fame wall. Alex, it's Alex's turn, right?
Yeah, come on up.
Let's hear it for Alex Thompson. There you go.
Wow. Those were incredible words. Thank you. Thank you, Bruce. Thanks, Dean. I'll send him a text. Thank you, Brad, Jason. I got to start by saying happy birthday to my incredible daughter, Stella. She's 5 today. I would have screwed up if I didn't start with that. Congratulations to Hunter Brown and to Jordan Westburg and to Don Dinan's family, who I met tonight. To Frank, Pat, and the Aces, and to Don's memory. Don really gave everything to the Aces and everything to the league. We miss his good counsel on the board. He always was positive. He was always there to support. He was always there to provide good advice, sometimes the legal variety. And of course, I want to thank Jason and Brad and the Ripken League board for this honor. To my family and my friends for coming from near and far to celebrate it with me. Thank you to my in-laws, Margaret Engel, who couldn't be here tonight, to Bruce for hosting this picnic, and Emily, of course, for organizing it, and to everyone for being willing to adjust your schedules due to the Ripken League's biggest challenge every summer, which seems to be getting worse and worse. They told me that I would have a minute for every year that I've been in Summer League Baseball, so I guess I have 25 minutes to talk here. But I'll start with my mom and dad, with Lisa and John, who early on, they said, go get it yourself. They said, we'll show you how we would do it. We'll read what you wrote. But if you want something, you got to go get it for yourself. And I thought maybe that was because they had 4 kids. And I know a little bit about that now with just 2, that they probably didn't have any time. But really, I think that they were intentionally instilling in me and my siblings a sense of professionalism. Bruce mentioned the letter that I wrote to him, of maturity, of believing like you belong somewhere and acting like it, and of independence, which comes back to the 4 kids thing. I saw what it meant from my parents for dreams to get redirected, for businesses to not work out, for a career in professional baseball not to happen. But I learned from them that if you work hard, good things will come. Things will have a way of working out. New careers are uncovered. New businesses grow. New passions are discovered. And eventually, whether you're looking for it or not, your hard work gets recognized in truly meaningful ways, just like this. And I want to congratulate my dad, John, on going into the DMAW Hall of Leaders this past December. So, 2 Hall of Famers in the family now. What can I say? So I write this letter to Bruce a long, long time ago. Bruce Adams is my mentor for life. And that deal was sealed on September 10th, 2016, when I married his daughter. But really, it was way before that. Bruce taught me from our very first meeting to set clear expectations. He said it will be the most exhausting summer that you've ever had, but also the most fulfilling. And he was right from then on. He said, do everything that you're capable of doing regardless of your position within an organization. And that includes picking up trash in dugouts or around the ballpark or in bathrooms, public bathrooms. And he said, let the people that you've assigned projects or tasks to go do them and succeed in their own right. He likes to say, I think it's a Reagan quote, trust but verify. It's one of his. I'm still working on these leadership traits every day in my professional life. And here at the Big Train, I learned probably Bruce's most important lesson, which is learn from your community and be a part of it. And this community here is built on the hard work of volunteers. I learned from Bill Hickman how to be organized. I learned from Jeff Haven about showing up, about work ethic. I learned from Tom DeMisa about passion and family and community. I learned from Becky Crowley about the willingness to wear many hats. I learned from Brian Haven about loving something like the Big Train unconditionally. And I learned from Randy Schools about a love of community and service. And I think he may have gone back to where he needs to be, but I learned from Sal Colangelo that it's not worth doing if you aren't in it to be the best. And then there was Peggy Angle, my mother-in-law, who always talked to me like an adult, even when I was most definitely a kid. The countless volunteers of all ages, including my siblings who worked here, neighbors, high school friends, these felt like small-town summers here. This was as American as it gets right here in Bethesda. And another Bruce leadership trait was let people run with their big ideas. He likes to say no good deed goes unpunished. So I had this idea while I was here to create a student leadership committee to elevate some high school volunteers beyond, volunteering in the scoreboard or wherever, to taking on more leadership roles among other volunteers, interns. And I'm pleased to see that program still exists here at the Big Train. In fact, I think it is transformed into multiple committees and multiple fellowships and ways for kids from young ages all the way through college to advance their baseball careers here. Emily was on that committee. Anna Phelan, Jeff Finkelstein, Rachel Northridge is one of our board members. She was on that committee. She's now on the board of the Big Train. So I think it was in 2004 that Bruce and Dick O'Connor, too, had this big idea in Albany that Bruce mentioned, to form the Ripken League, to leave the Clark Griffith League and to form something entirely new. And they met with Dean Albany, with the Ripkens. We had a lot of meetings up in Aberdeen. We got their blessing to start this thing. We got their blessing to use their dad's likeness and his name, certainly. We were always the Cal Ripken Sr. Collegiate Baseball League for Cal Ripken Sr., not because we were a senior league. And we tried our very best to honor his ethos when it came to baseball. We had bootstrapped beginnings. We found Bill Spencer to be our first commissioner. He was based in Baltimore, looked very commissionerly. If you don't believe me, you can find him on the wall over there. And Bill led us in a very professional way in those early days as our first commissioner. And we really just bootstrapped it from there. We had a handful of teams. We had teams obviously in Bethesda, in Rockville, in College Park. And the Orioles up in Baltimore, and we just put this thing together and played games. And somehow we got it done. I'm not always sure how we did, but in those early years, we did it. We did it with a lot of help from people who are still involved. Ed Sharp, who's I don't think is here tonight, from the Thunderbolts, has been the secretary of the Cal Ripken League from 2005 on, and is the perfect corporate secretary. If anybody needs one, I'll volunteer his services. And so the league grew from 2005. Back then, we didn't have Twitter. We had Baseball America. So one of the things that I did was to subscribe to Baseball America and literally read through print magazines looking for baseball players that played in our league, mentions of these players. Hey guys, I'm talking. And if anybody wants to see some of those old Baseball Americas, just ask my parents. They'd be happy to give you a whole box of them. I was lucky that law school allowed us to bring laptops into class because that's how I updated a league website, looked for highlights from our players, snippets about players that were coming into our league. We had a lot of great times with the league. We televised all-star games. I remember talking to Johnny Holiday late at night because Johnny Holiday wanted to get the background of every single player who was going to be playing in our all-star game because it was going to be televised, I think, by Masson at that point. And approached that game like he approached every Maryland Terrapins basketball and football game that he's ever been involved with. A true professional. The Big Train's rise to #1 nationally in 2011. I didn't know this was going to be a gymnastics. First rounders, we've had, I think, 9. I may have that number wrong, Chris. I think it's 9, including Jordan Westburg. A couple of comp round picks, too. All-Stars, you heard mentioned that Hunter Brown made it this year. We had 2. We had Brandon Lau as well. And I think we've had 2 the last couple of years. In 2014, we produced and hosted the Collegiate Summer Ball Best Practices Seminar at UMBC. Our feature panel had Bruce, Mike Veck, Peter Kirk, and this mostly unknown guy named Jesse Cole, who at the time was the managing partner of a couple of Coastal Plain Leagues team. And then 2 years later, he created a 3rd team in the Coastal Plains League. I think you may have heard of them. They're called the Savannah Bananas. So when I took over as commissioner, I'm not going to sing, I'm not harmonizing. When I took over as commissioner, we had challenges. Brad mentioned it wasn't always easy. We didn't always have the funds to support this league. And I'm guilty of not really caring who wins the league every year. Dallas moved on, right? He's not here anymore, thank you. I guess since I'm standing here in my capacity as a representative of the Ripken League and not a member of the Big Trains board, I think I can say that I wouldn't mind a new league champion every once in a while. We've had teams come and go, the MLB grants. I've had support from my fabulous partners at the company where I'm a partner, Prestige LaTroy Distributing, from our founding owner, Joey Smith, to my current partners, Mike Cherner's here, Chris Schmidt, Jimmy Smith. Don Dinan, of course, was a great support. Our deputy commissioner for a long time, Jerry Wargo, would put on a skills showcase for our All-Star game, and he never talked about it, but I coached baseball in the RBI League in Baltimore, and Jerry always gave me scholarships to allow kids from West Baltimore to come participate in his high-level, highly competitive, expensive camps. So he allowed those kids to play in those, or to participate in those camps for free. 21 seasons, the Ripken League. Wow, 21 seasons. The thing I'm most proud about from my time with the Ripken League was serving on the committee to find these two guys right here, Jason Woodward and Brad Rifkin. Because we have had stability. This league has been marked by stability and steadfastness since that time when they joined us in 2014. 2014, wow. And we could not have grown and taken the direction that we've taken in these last few years without their leadership. The league is in incredibly good hands with Jason and Brad, and here's to another 10 years. Yeah. And look, there's going to be more challenges for this league. Pitching injuries, technology, MLB changing its draft date, the consolidation, the shrinking of the minor leagues, 500-year storms and floods every week. But with good leadership, with creative thinking, with risk-taking, and with reinvestment in this league, I know that we are positioned to continue to grow and succeed as a league. All right, I'm coming in for a landing. So there's a through line through all of these 25 seasons of summer baseball for me. 25 is a quarter of a century. There's one constant and the most important part of my life. The one who has been there from day one, stuffing envelopes up there, to day like 9,300. My math is fuzzy on this, but it's something large. And here she is organizing a picnic at Povich Field like she never left, which she really hasn't. When things were the most stressful here at the big train, when I was running around, the most exhausting, the hottest, sweating like I'm sweating right now, there was always one thing that would keep me going here, and it was that maybe Emily will be there tonight. I'd be running around, getting tables set up in a full sweat, stressing over timelines, volunteers, sponsors, and then I'd spot her, and there would be like this jolt of electricity and energy, and I'd be ready to go. Calm, tall, graceful, heart-stoppingly beautiful, and an expert at every part of this operation. She was totally out of my league. And I guess the lesson is that if you want some dorky kid to work his butt off for you year after year in the dead of summer, it doesn't hurt to have a daughter that he falls madly in love with from the first moment he meets her. And to my colleagues in the Ripken League, I truly apologize for my uneven availability these last 5 years to the day. But Emily and I have been blessed with two amazing kids that have us running in circles while they march around like they own this place already. Happy birthday, Stella. And Gus, you're pretty much fated to play here someday. But only if you want to. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the game.
Is there anything more quintessential to Summer League baseball than this? So again, one more round of applause for Don Dinan, Jordan Westburg, Hunter Brown, and Alex Thompson, our 2025 Hall of Fame inductees. Thank you very much. That concludes our ceremony. And for those families and inductees who are here, we're going to take some pictures. Thank you.